It's just behind.
But no, I cannot do this because this is superior a little bit on the roof, and now we are watching the below. Okay, so but this is the interacoustic meatus, where it turns backward, it gives rise the branch forward as greater petrosum. And this is the geniculate ganglion. This is what I put here at the bottom. This is the inferior ganglion of the glossopharyngeal nerve, and from here we have a tympanic. Okay. Now we are over the walls of the tympanic cavity. Now the ossicles would be a very important topic. Individually, you can see here the bones. This is the real one. Okay. This lollipop is the
Good.
the three ossicles, and the nice stapes is the third one. These are not organized in a proper plane. Just the order is good. So the first one is malleus, then incus, and the last one is the stapes. As I told you, only the first two are located on the lateral wall. The stapes already in the medial wall, sitting in the oval window, and they this way are not in the same plane. The first two are more or less, yes. And this is the main point. Now let's see first the big parts. Here I have a model, plastic. So we have a malleus, the first one. This is the hammer, and it has a head. It has a neck, and this is what we mentioned. It has a handle or manubrium. You know, this is which is attached to the tympanic membrane and causes this stria from outside. This one. Now here it has a lateral process. So not this. This one is the lateral process, which is facing laterally, obviously, and this causes the prominence on the eardrum. So this here, for example, or this one. Okay. So basically, from the lateral process down to the end of the manubrium or handle, the malleus is attached to the tympanic membrane. It has another process, number 4. This is the anterior process, which was a ligament, and anterior, definitely we have ligament, the anterior malar ligament. This wants to be the blue, maybe it would be worth it to mention it, but it's okay, above A. I don't know what is A.
Anterior.
Anterior up. Here.
Okay, all right. So I just wanted to label something, maybe just the orientation, yes, anterior. So anterior malar ligament, okay, this blue, where A is located, this would be here, the continuation. That's it. We have a articular surface on the malleus logic towards the incus. This is then the incus, and incus has a body, and it has two processes, what we call crura, I think in this book is called process, long and short backward. Okay, and from this short process, or crus, we have a ligament, that is the other blue backward. Okay, horizontally. This is called posterior incudal ligament, or posterior ligament of incus. So we have a ligament here anteriorly, anterior ligament of malleus or anterior malar ligament, and here we have the posterior incudal ligament or posterior ligament of incus. This way we have a relatively horizontal axis around which the two bones can swing like this, okay, along this common axis. This is what it shows here. Okay, of course above I labeled also these two bluish ligaments. Above we have tiny ligaments the superior ligament of malleus or superior malleus ligament, and this is the superior incudal ligament or superior ligament of incus. These are for the suspension, you see, from above. Here you can see these two, or here. Good, so here we have two, and this way horizontally we have one anteriorly, one posteriorly, and they suspend the two ossicles. And they can, this way, move, they can swing together, so that is the main point. They swing simultaneously on this common horizontal axis. Okay? So when the tympanic membrane hits the malleus because of the air wave and moves the malleus inward, the incus moves also with this, with the long crus, like this. Okay? Because this is the common axis. I will return to this. Then let's see the stapes. The stape has a little head which communicates also with a joint with the long crus or process of the incus. I forgot to tell you this lenticular process of the incus, which is number 11, wants to be. This joins to the head of the stapes. Okay, so lentiform process. I don't think it's important, but it has a real synovial joint here with the stapes. This is called incudostapedial joint. So this is the head. Then we have neck, a short neck, and then we have two crura, anterior and posterior crus. The anterior is a little bit thinner, so I said correctly, and the posterior one is a little bit thicker. However, they forgot to label this way, and I realized that I didn't show properly, because this is the posterior and this is the anterior. Why? If I don't see the thickness, because they made the same. Posterior should be thicker.
Because of the malleus.
Yes, exactly. I just realized that the malleus is in front, so that should be the posterior. Or here you can see 16 is the insertion of the stapedial muscle. This is from behind also.
That's good.
Okay, so this is the posterior direction. So this should be thicker than the anterior one, if I like to be precise. And this is finally the stapes base. This is sitting in the oval window, surrounded by a ligament, which is a quite nice sealing annular ligament of the stapes. So it would be here. Okay, so these are the ossicles. Let's go back to the movements, because this is a difficult story a little bit, and can be a question on the exam. As I told you, the first two ossicles are suspended in a common axis between the anterior mallar ligament and the posterior incudal ligament, including otherwise the anterior mallar process, the neck of the malleus, not the head, the neck. Then we go through the synovial joint. Then we have the body, the posterior located short crus, and finally we have a ligament called posterior incudal ligament. This is the axis if you need to describe. Okay? So anterior mallar ligament, anterior mallar process, then neck of the malleus, then the incudomallar joint, then the body of the incus, and finally the short crus and the posterior incudal ligament. Now along this we have a swing-like movement, and when the manubrium is pushed inward by the vibration of the tympanic membrane with airways, then, as I told you, the long crus or process of the incus moves parallelly. Okay, pushing the stapes in the oval window, creating inside traveling wave on the fluid. Which fluid? On the upper perilymphatic space, what I like to describe very soon. Upper perilymphatic space. And then I mentioned already, why only in that direction? Because at the end of the perilymphatic space, we have the only flexible wall, in the round window. by the secondary tympanic membrane. Okay, that's why this is the only direction regarding otherwise the very rigid bony wall and frame in the bony labyrinth. I will return to this.